So I just got back from my trip to North Carolina, and I wanted to tell you a little about my experience in Wilmington, North Carolina. One of the most haunted cities in North Carolina, if not the most haunted. And I went there for a day. I wish I could tell you I had a lot of experiences, but that doesn't mean it's not haunted. I went to a few different locations. I went to the Bergwin Wright House. I went to the Cape Fear Museum. I went to the Wilmington Railroad Museum, which is not a known location, but if you watch Rebekah, you would know.
So I've been working with the Wilmington Railroad Museum for the past few weeks, and let me tell you, this place is haunted. I've been here on and off for only a few weeks, and I'm already gonna tell you, I have found a lot. So come with me, I'm gonna give you a little tour. Okay, so the first place is the boxcar right behind me here, and I'm gonna be pretty quiet because, well, I don't like to wake them up. Already, I just don't like going in here. But the first day that I was here, I actually saw something that kind of looked like a pterodactyl over here. It was like a big shadowy thing. Yeah, that's enough time there. Okay, so let's go inside.
One of the museum founders sit in this chair and would not approve of me making a video on this. So I'm not talking. This was her.
All right, so next up we're gonna go to the model hall. Okay, so the cool thing here is that the largest model train exhibit in North Carolina is right behind me. These buttons right here trigger different stuff, like right now the train. Sometimes it seems like the buttons are triggered on their own. I have seen two little kids back here. I'm not entirely sure who they are, but they seem to be having a pretty good time. Next up is the bathrooms. I'm not joking, there's a different ghost in each bathroom. So in here is the women's bathroom. Sad lady usually is back there, and she's usually crying. She's actually created a fat form spirit for herself. We're gonna have words later. And then in the men's bathroom, we have a former thief. Still a thief. No joke, he still likes to scare people. One time he came at me in the morning with he was holding a knife, and I just had to turn around. I was like, sir, no. He was really trying to scare me. It totally baffled him, and he was just like, videos coming out on that soon. Behind me here is the library. There's a lot of really cool artifacts back here, plus an elderly man who takes care of the books. I've also seen a few rough-looking guys around here who likely either built the tracks or worked around here at the depot. Really strong guys. One guy in particular actually seems to be crushing on a friend of mine who works here, and he's a really big bear of a dude and very sentient. We had a lot of conversations with him, and he was all about it. More videos on him to come. Then in the theater, we have an elderly lady who likes to sit right over there and just watch the moving pictures, as she says. Honestly, she just has a wonderful vibe about herself. So yeah, that's everybody that I remember here at the Wilmington Railroad Museum. You should definitely come down and see us because there's some wild stuff going on, and it's just a great place to visit. And as I've been saying, yes, reenacting videos are coming with all of these experiences. They've already been wild. I can't wait to share them with you.
It's where she works sometimes, and she can be found there sometimes. Also, we went to the USS North Carolina battleship that a lot of different people in the Navy and the Marines were on during World War II. Oh, I also failed to mention that I went to the coffee house on South Street, so that was another one of the places. My main focus is going to be on the Wilmington Railroad Museum.
My name's Rebekah. When I first started out on TikTok, I was mainly posting creepy photos that were captured on my own ghost tour. And then the pandemic happened and my work dried up. Throughout that time, I've been living in this bus with my partner, a cat, and a dog. So I'm a medium, I can talk to dead people. And over the last few months, one of the things that TikTok seems to really enjoy are my reenactments of my conversations with spirits. Sometimes the conversations are short and I never see the spirit again. Other times, well, I've started to develop a friendship with some of them. The following is a reenactment of a true story that happened to me. P.S. The other person is a ghost.
Someone who I have high respect in because she is one of the sweetest, most kind,
something that would have been
open
funny. Most have
mediums that I've heard of.
This is no different. I'm sorry that I must get really lonely. I had hoped you would have seen me sooner, but sometimes it felt as if you had seen me nearby and that you had made room for me. I am trying to practice to be more aware. Do you think it's working? Gratefully so. Well, I should go. I have my car again tonight. We've been having to park the bus farther away from downtown now. It's been too busy. And then you'll leave. Not for good, just until the pandemic is over and there's work again. I would like it if you would spend more evenings with me before you leave. If that is not too much for me to ask.
She is really kind and open
like
about her abilities on TikTok and YouTube, and also posting stuff on Instagram as well. Yeah, so I discovered her like over the summer, I think it was this year, like early summer, and I started watching her content because, you know, I'm really into that kind of stuff. So I'm like, hey, she's pretty cool. And since September was when I found out that I was going to North Carolina, I had a lot of time to do some thinking and planning. Well, it wasn't until November that I put things together in my brain. I'm like, whoa, she's in Wilmington. Where we're staying is Oak Island. It's not that far away. So I'm like, why not go? Because, you know, I need some content for my channel and I need to, like, talk about something. I'm in the car, right? On the way there, we rented a minivan and we were on the way there. I was sitting there in the car. I'm just thinking to myself, I wonder what's going to happen. And as I'm thinking, all of a sudden a bunch of voices popped in my head.
Miss.
Mora doll.
Miss.
And had it been my imagination, I had no idea. But I was really confused because normally this kind of thing doesn't happen. Oops, I bumped the bridge. But I was hearing voices in my head, and they sounded a lot like the way that Rebekah kind of like impersonates the spirits that she meets. She sees them more like in her head. She's clairvoyant. Like sometimes she physically sees them, but it's more like an image that just pops into her head.
The following is a reenactment of a true story that happened to me. P.S. The other people I'm talking to are ghosts.
Rupert, why are you standing out in the rain?
I knew you would be passing by.
I wish you could go in the house. With the lights on, it looks so warm in there.
I think the company would be warmer with you.
Well, I'm going to 24 South for coffee. I'm gonna check in with Molly. Is she gonna bother you again?
As long as she knows I'm spoken for, she will not distress me.
Well, come on.
If I were corporeal, I would offer you my coat.
Well, I feel the gesture all the same.
Hey, Molly.
Nothing has happened today. Can your man move over a little bit?
Rupert, would you mind?
Good. I like it when you know that I'm close to you. Not everyone does.
No problem.
What's she reading?
Oh, the barista you like? I don't know.
I'd like it if she read aloud. That would be less boring than her reading in her head.
Okay, I'll let her know.
I wish she would talk to me. I forgot how much fun it was to ramble on until you came along.
I'll let her know that too. I've enjoyed talking with you.
Leaving so soon?
Gotta get to the museum.
Does he go with you? To work?
Not today, unless you would like me to.
We'll see. Try and find something fun to do today. Okay, Molly?
Well, say, farewell, doll. Bye, priest.
Good day.
Recently, Rupert has figured out how to travel. Yes, spirits can kind of pop through our physical barriers and show up so long as they either figure out how to do that or if they are called upon. The following is a montage of how I realized that this was happening. You know, because I'm not always, like, tapped in. P.S. Rupert's a ghost. Jimothy is also a ghost. So, how's Rupert doing these days? He seems to be understanding the day-to-day a lot better now. Is that... what? Never mind. Someone's here. Hey! What's he doing here? Who did you see? Did you tell Rupert where we live? No. I'm coming down.
I don't feel him anymore.
He left. I chased him off.
Oh, why?
Because he likes you. And he's still figuring things out, so he should go on and figure them out.
Sure.
I know you like him too. That's why I've been following you.
Yeah, I picked up on that.
Well, not all the time. I fooled you some.
I mean, sure, but why?
You two are gonna need a chaperone if you're gonna keep things decent.
Of course.
What was I thinking? I don't know what you do without me sometimes.
Do you think I could call him?
Like how you call me?
Yeah, like just project the thought and see if he catches it?
Pretty sure that's what you've been doing, Miss Rebekah. You're already a lot better at it than you think.
Thanks. That means a lot.
Sometimes you say too much, it gets weird.
Oh, I know. I'm, sorry about that.
That's why you need a chaperone.
So, should I try it? Like, call him, I mean?
Sure. And I'll be here to be sure he respects your ladiness.
Thanks, Timothy. Rupert, can you find me?
How did I get here?
I'm different. I don't see anything like that. She has clear conversations with them, and I don't. I use things to help me, but I've never had anything like this happen. So I'm sitting in here in the car, and I'm like hearing these voices, like similar to the ones that Rebekah like impersonates, that she's ghosts with, these spirits that she talks to. And I'm hearing things about, I'm here, you're getting so close, I can't wait to see you, that kind of thing. I'm just like, what? Like, am I imagining this? But they're sounding a lot similar. I'm just like, whoa, hi. And I didn't expect that to happen, you know? So anyways, we get to the coffee house.
Have lunch. Here it is, coffee shop.
And it's really cold outside. It's a really cold, windy, rainy day. It hadn't started raining yet, but it would like pour not that long later. I got there, and for a little bit, the voices went away. Then at one point, Laura, are you here? Like, are you still here? Can you hear me? That kind of thing. I was hearing that. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm hearing you. And it sounded like Molly. I swear, it sounded like that, you know, kind of like Irish, I don't know what I should call it, accent, like of some kind, Scottish, something like that. And I'm hearing her talking, and I'm like, and I'm here, you know, and I walk into the coffee house, and I don't know if I feel it anymore, but I do feel a little, like, chilly. And it isn't just a matter of being outside. Once I'm inside, you know, it's warmer, but I feel still a little chilly. So, I'm hanging out in there, and it was one of the first destinations that I had put on my list to go to. It was the morning, it was breakfast time. It's the perfect place to go to, right? So, I go and I sit down while my mom orders food, and I sit down, and I'm hearing her talking. I don't even know if it was probably just me imagining. I'm just hearing her saying things like, hey, you're finally here, and all that kind of thing, and like, I don't know if she was actually talking to me. Maybe, I don't know. For all I know, it was just me imagining it, but yeah. So we sit down, and this guy comes walking in, and he's like, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he worked there or something, but he takes one of the mats that's right in front of the door that enters into the coffee house, and he like whips it around, he shakes it, and all these leaves come flying in. And then all of a sudden I hear, hey, lad, what do you think you're doing? You made a big mess. Now I'm gonna have to clean it up. Or like, now somebody's gonna have to clean it up. I hate messes. And I'm just like, what? I don't know. I don't know if it was actually her or not. Like, I'm just here like, whoa, okay. Like, yeah. I didn't see anything. I just heard it in my head. Then, what happened was, I was sitting in the coffee house, and lo and behold, Rebekah comes walking in. I'm just like, whoa. Because, like, I'm a fan of hers. It's not like I'm a personal friend or something. And I didn't want to seem like a stalker, so I'm just sitting there like, whoa, Rebekah just walked in. And she goes and she talks to the front desk lady, and then she goes into the back and sits down. Just like, wow, what a coincidence. I'm here at the same time. I figure she's getting coffee or something before she goes and works that day. Later on, when I was at the Railroad Museum and she was working that day at the desk, I was telling her that I went there and I think I felt her, but I don't have like the same kind of like, you know, powers or abilities as she does. She's like, oh yeah, she was definitely there today. If you felt that. She said she has like the strong attachment to the person that works at the front desk, the girl that was working there. I'm just like, wow, that's kind of cool, right? Anyways, so I left because I didn't want to feel like some sort of stalker or whatever. I didn't say anything to her. I don't know if she even noticed that I was there. But I left and we started walking down the street and we went to the Cape Fear Museum.
Yeah, it said we can go up the main street. Thomas Godfrey, author of The Prince of Persia.
Which only had one occurrence where I felt something. I was in the area that was like the old school area, like the old schooling stuff, and I was about to enter that. And it was right by this model of the battle, like of Cape Fear or whatever, like during the Civil War, I think it was. And I was standing there and I felt like someone was standing behind me. And nobody was there. And I felt this many times before, so I'm just like, could be someone there. I don't know that much, and Rebekah hasn't talked about it all that much, but she mentioned it as somewhere that she used to go a lot when she was little, as a kid. So, yeah. Then after that, we went to the Bergwin Wright House, which there's a lot of reportings on being one of the most haunted buildings. That whole street, like the whole streets of Wilmington, like every street has like some sort of like historical aspect. Each, like almost every single house has a little plaque on it telling you like history about like that particular location. And it was so fascinating to see all that. We walked past many different spots.
Balconies without any.
Got a historical tour, which I'm going to be posting. I don't know, you guys can try and see if you like caught anything. It was more focused on the historical aspect because my mom isn't into that type of thing. And yeah, there's mentions of different spots in the house being reportedly haunted. Rebekah did a whole like investigation there. If you want to go check it out on her channel, she did a whole thing where she had this guy who felt possessive of like this back staircase area, and there's this woman that like weeps in the window downstairs and all this stuff. She like feels a presence of a woman and a man in the bedroom upstairs. I didn't really feel much there, but it's probably because I was focusing more on like filming the tour and listening to what she said. For all I know, there could be stuff going on, but I just didn't really feel it that moment. The only thing I really felt there was when I first walked in. I mentioned this previously in one of my videos at the Andrew Lou house that's in Savannah, Georgia. I felt that same uneasy feeling when I first walked into the gift shop area, but it's probably because the house is on like a slant. It's like not perfectly at like firm in place and straight. It's very slanted. Yeah, I didn't really feel much there, but the guy and the girl that gave us the tour were really nice, and they mentioned things about the paranormal aspect, about the ghost walk tour, which I had done research on before, but unfortunately we were getting there too late on one of the only dates that was still open to schedule a tour, so I couldn't do it. They were saying that a lot of things that are said are probably made up or whatever. I don't know if they have any personal experiences themselves. Okay, so the next stop was the Railroad Museum, which I saw Rebekah at. And first things first, I'm like all excited, you know. I was freaking out because I was hoping she didn't think I was a stalker already, because I went to the coffee house and she just so happened to come in as I was already there. I walk in, she's right at the front desk. She's the only one working, and it isn't that crowded at all whatsoever. So I go up and I'm like, "Hi Rebekah, my name's Laura. I emailed you, or you emailed me a couple weeks ago, and talking about how I'm on a trip here." And she's like, "Oh yeah, hi Laura," whatever. And then we're talking at, like, you know, my mom and her are talking about like tickets and whatever, and then she gives her this piece of paper right here, and it says the Wilmington Railroad Museum visitor, and she said to go put it on your car. My mom went outside to go do that. I've been to a few places that you told me about, and she's like, "Oh, where'd you go?" And I'm like, "I've been to the coffee house." And I told her about how I kind of sensed Molly, and she told me about the thing with the lady at the desk. And then I told her that I'd been to the museum. She's like, "Oh, you mean the Cape Fear Museum?" And she's like, "I used to go there all the time when I was little." And then I told her about the Burgwin Wright house, that I'd been there too. I didn't really mention anything about that. And then we came here. Yeah. She's like, "Hope you guys have a good time," gives us the, you know, the stuff, and then we go on in. Well, little did I know, she hadn't told me, because my mom isn't into that stuff, as I mentioned before, and I had emailed her before and told her that. And later, like that day, I got an email from her, which I didn't see until yesterday when I got back. And she said, "Oh, by the way, when you were going into the section in the back, two of the ghost kids that talked about in my videos ran past you. I don't know if you felt it, but if you felt any wind, that was them." And I'm like, whoa, because I actually did feel wind, like gusts of wind. And I didn't mention it, but yeah. So we went back there, did our thing. I couldn't tell if I felt anyone back there, but we did our thing. We walked around. We were checking out, and little did I know, I was telling her about how much I loved all the different people that she talked about. There's Rupert, there's Molly, there's Timothy, there's George, who we don't discuss anymore. And I was telling her like how much I loved them, and I loved hearing about them, and to tell them hi, and that, you know, that kind of thing. And I enjoyed all of her content or whatever. And she was so happy to hear that. And little did I know, Rupert was standing right beside her, hearing the whole thing, and he was so blessed to hear about it. So that was the most happiest thing. She didn't tell me that in there because of what I had said before, but she emailed me that, and I was so happy to hear that, and it was amazing. I wasn't sure if he was standing there with her in the moment, but I felt like something was, you know, going on. So that's really cool. I'm really happy that happened. And that was, like, I guess my first, like, official interaction that I know of with something, because I was technically talking to him because he was right there. So yeah, and I got a picture with her and all that. Then we went to the USS North Carolina battleship, and I don't know what, like, all I really know that I was mainly focusing on anxiety portions, because I'm a little claustrophobic, and I have a little bit of fear of heights, and you have to climb down these really steep staircases, like these little, like, ladder type things, and I didn't like it. It was really small spaces you had to climb through. I didn't really like that part that much, but the historical stuff was cool, and I couldn't really tell. So you'll have to look at the footage and let me know if you see anything. As far as pictures go, my mom was the one who took pictures, so if you look at any of hers and you see anything that catches your eye, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really curious. Anyways, yeah, I gotta go eat dinner. It's Christmas Eve, my boyfriend's coming over, and yeah. But I just wanted to give you an update on what happened. So, if I have any more information, I'll put it in at some point. But yeah,